Alrighty. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Proving Grounds. My name is Nathan Savage, joined tonight by my commentary partner, Mr. Alan Taylor. My apologies.
How you doing, Trekker?
I'm not doing too bad, thank you very much. All right, we have Psycho Mike and Chris Logan squaring off here tonight. Mike has Logan in a waistlock as he gets out and gets him in a hammerlock of his own.
We're starting off hot with these guys. Now, at Smash Wrestling, we've been seeing Chris Logan quite a lot, and I'll be honest, despite the fact that he's been around basically since January, we don't know an awful lot about him. What can you tell us about Chris Logan? Because you guys have seen him in action more than we have, I believe.
Yeah, just a little bit. He showed up sporadically last October at our event, Locked in the Lions Club. He was deemed to be the backup plan for the grinder Mark Shaw, and he ended up turning on him, and the Steel City Triad ran rampant through Pro Wrestling Ontario for the better part of 2019 so far. He is rather relentless and will do just about anything to secure that win.
And we've seen that when he's been in the corner of stablemates John Green and Holland Albright. And he's an imposing force because I don't think people realize just how tall Chris Logan is, because Mike Rollins is one of the larger, one of the taller, certainly, wrestlers in the Ontario area. And Chris Logan seems like he's got a good 3-4 inches on him.
Absolutely. Chris Logan is quite a large gentleman. He is definitely one of the tallest on the Pro Wrestling Ontario roster, that is for sure. And he's ready for Mike Rollins on that one as he goes to hit him with that tackle and gets not a budge.
Mike Rollins is someone, you're not going to intimidate him with something like that, though. He's always got a backup plan. Now, doesn't always make a lot of sense to everybody. Case in point.
Yeah. Well, the fans for sure seem to be getting behind Mike here tonight in Burlington.
And how can you not? Mike Rollins is this kind of guy everyone loves him. You see him when he comes out, he's dancing. He's got the cool, funky pop music. He's fun to watch. He's fun to watch.
You are not wrong there. And textbook Chris Logan. That is exactly the Chris Logan we are used to seeing here in Pro Wrestling Ontario.
He doesn't care what the people want to see. I don't want to be a jerk here, but I kind of agree with him. Is he not here to win a match? I know Mike wants to have fun, but this is important for Chris Logan. This is an area that he wants to get the reps, and he wants to do well here because he wants to get future opportunities in Pro Wrestling Ontario. The other situation he's got is we haven't seen him in action a lot. He doesn't want to take a loss, and you don't want to explain that to John Greed. John Greed's a big man. You don't have to tell him that you lost on behalf. He gives Mike the run around here.
Looks like Logan has had enough.
Okay, I completely misspoke. He doesn't care about getting the win. He doesn't care about upsetting John Green. Certainly doesn't seem to care about the fans.
Certainly doesn't, yeah. You are not. Oh, I think the fans are about to get that body slam.
No, on the floor, Mike. Come on. Think of the children.
Mike Rollins just parading Chris Logan around the room.
Incredibly diplomatic here. This is a democracy.
The strength of Rollins.
You're exactly right. The strength, the power that he has, it's almost, when he comes out and he starts having fun, I think people forget it's exactly how strong this man is.
Absolutely. Mike is a very meticulous fighter. He likes to have his fun, but he definitely is a very serious individual and is one of the hardest hitting heavyweights in the Ontario indie scene today.
Chris Logan has the upper hand now, though.
Absolutely. Logan starting to bring the attack back to Psycho Mike. Fans getting behind Mike here tonight as he goes for that slam yet again.
These guys are loud. We've got headsets on, and I can still hear these guys chanting for Mike.
As Logan hits off into the ropes, goes for that.
And that was beautiful.
Executed perfectly, goes for the cover. Mike Rollins gets the shoulder up at 2.
It's only a 2 count. Now, I have to ask you, Travis, you're more familiar with the fans in this area than I am. The two gentlemen in the front that are wearing lucha masks, are they likely to do a run-in at some point? Have you seen these guys before?
I believe they showed up at May at Redemption. We saw them in the crowd. They just seem to enjoy the night, so hopefully they're...
So these are just fans. I don't have to keep an eye on them?
I don't believe so. I believe they're just fans.
I'm going to keep an eye on them anyway, just to be sure.
Right, as Mike Rollins seems to be bringing the fight back to Chris Logan. Going for that slam. Logan manages to get out of that, grabs him by the hair, and just slams him down to the mat.
This is a hard canvas that you've got here as well. That does not look like a pleasant landing.
Right as he shoots off Mike into the ropes, goes for a nice Luthaz press. Nice series of shots afterwards.
Now we've seen in Smash, we've seen Mike Rollins use a number of interesting, I'll say unorthodox moves as a part of his repertoire. He's very well known for his pump kick, but in more recent times he's been doing things such as internal decapitation.
And he hits it, ladies and gentlemen.
And then he hits the body slam. That may be Mike Rollins' new finisher.
The fans are on fire here tonight as Mike is crawling for the cover. Gets one hand on. Logan gets the shoulder up at 2. Maybe if you could muster up a little bit more energy to hook the leg.
Yeah, not enough coverage on that. Didn't take away any leverage. Yeah, Mike Rollins, he's got this neck snap move, which is absolutely brutal, as you can imagine. He also has what he calls the murderplex. As far as I'm aware, it's just a fisherman's suplex, but he does yell that it's time for murder ahead of time, and that seems to make it more effective. So hopefully, if he lands the murderplex, it's, as you can imagine, over.
Absolutely, as Chris Logan is on the wrong end of that spine buster.
Cover here.
Hooks the outside leg and kick out at 2.
So close on that cover. And it's interesting because our referee tonight, one of the referees at least, is Brad Myers. He's one half of the Smash Wrestling commentary team. Now, if it was Scott Hunter that was refereeing, we'd be in problems because that man has all kinds of issues with his eyes. Colorblind, which I imagine for a referee would be tricky. Probably nearsighted as well, and kind of pretends that he's cool. But Brad Myers is a wonderfully impartial referee, which you kind of have to be in a Mike Rollins match. How can you not cheer for this man?
You've got me there.
Although he has almost as many tattoos as Chris Logan. Most of his are hidden. Most of his are hidden. It's a beautiful suplex there.
Yeah, Mike Rollins was on the wrong end of that exploder suplex there as Logan is fired up. Hits him with a nice hesitation drop kick.
Drop kick. And I think Mike Rollins, just as he tries to get out of it, just moves himself right into the path, which doesn't help.
Absolutely not. Gets the shoulder up at 2. Chris Logan seems frustrated.
Another 2 count. Neither of these men have been able to put the other away yet. Chris Logan's stalking Mike Rollins, though.
Yeah, Mike Rollins looking a little bit gassed here. Logan looks like he's going to set him up for that choke slam. Gets him out. Retaliates with a nice back elbow. Oh, but Mike is ready for him. Nice spinning. And a nice backdrop by Mike Rollins as he goes for the cover. Kick out at 2 by Chris Logan.
I think this is Mike Rollins getting fired up. I can't tell.
He's a man of very few emotions.
And there's that pump kick we talked about earlier. Oh, beautiful counter, though. Hits it.
Falls up with a nice big boot. Mike goes for it again. Chris is ready with that back elbow.
It's absolute back and forth here, but...
Through the ropes.
Oh!
Mike is ready for him, though. Ducks out of the way just in time. Gets in.
Murderplex! Murderplex! Here it is. He's got to get that cover. Oh! He's not done with him. This has to be a mistake. That was clearly a 3 count.
Seems like Mike Rollins is now just having fun with Chris Logan as he goes for that body slam yet again. Perfect execution. Hooks the leg.
And there we go. There's the 3 count. Most dangerous man on the roster. You never know when he's going to strike next.
Brad Myers doing the smart thing and rushing out of that ring, trying to get out of Mike's hands. But now Logan is left with Psycho Mike.
Brutal man. But the crowd's happy. That's the important thing.
Absolutely. The crowd's happy. I'm happy. I assume you're happy. And this is a great start to our night here at Proving Grounds.
This is everything that I hoped it would be to start off the night. No, please, Mike. That camera's incredibly expensive. Okay, I'm going to need your help here. I've got no idea who is who, but it looks like Forte and Arrow are...
Absolutely, Forte and Arrow are back in. They seem to be clearing up after Raunchy Nuts started off with that assault there. Our referee trying to get 2 men in the ring so he can start this matchup here tonight. All right, and we have Tyler Arrow, and we have Raunchy Ronnie Randallson starting it up here tonight.
Raunchy Ronnie Randallson?
Yes, it is quite a mouthful.
That is beautiful innovation. What is not beautiful is that t-shirt. What the hell is going on? Does he always wear that?
He's one of a kind, that's for sure.
Sure seems like it. That was beautiful.
That is the styling of Tyler Arrow that we are used to seeing here in Pro Wrestling Ontario.
Keeping his opponent on his toes.
Absolutely. Goes off into the ropes, hits him with a nice tackle there. Oh, but he's ready for him.
Oh, that was a nasty landing.
A little bit of an awkward landing there for sure.
Immediately takes control back.
Arrow's down on the ropes. Hits him with a nice block there. Flips over. Ready for a nice deep arm drag. Raunchy's ready for him with one of his own.
Now, Raunchy Nuts, they're your tag team champions?
No, the Raunchy Nuts are the HPW tag team champions currently. Here at Pro Wrestling Ontario, we surprisingly don't have a tag division.
Okay.
We operate on the trios division here.
Excellent. So these guys, did they work in trios matches for you as well, or do they like to kind of come in and brag about what they've got elsewhere?
Generally, option number 2.
Okay.
We last saw AC Coco, who's just getting into the ring right now, as they feed rather hard chops there to Tyler Arrow. We last saw him come to the aid of Johnny D at our last show, but that was the first time we saw AC over here in Pro Wrestling Ontario. They seem to be making waves, so I believe that if they do well in this matchup, that management might be looking at them in the future.
I mean, how can you not? You've got bona fide tag team champions coming in and making a name for themselves.
Oh, and Arrow's ready for him. Forte gets the tag in. Ducks under, nice arm drag to AC.
And it would seem like the worst thing they could do at this point is speed up the pace of this match. That seems to definitely benefit Forte and Arrow.
Goes for the cover. AC gets the shoulder up at 2, rolls through, has him in a waist lock. We do try to get him into the backslide. Forte gets out.
Oh!
Devastating clothesline.
That short arm clothesline slamming him to the ground. Like, follows through as well.
Absolutely. As you were saying, the best thing Raunchy Nuts can do right now. Oh, as he goes for that crucifix pinning combination. AC kicks out at 2. Best thing that Raunchy Nuts can do right now is slow down that pace of the match and control it, so that way they can control their two opponents, because they are so fast and so high flying that if they let this get out of control, it could be their demise. Impressive work by Forte there.
I don't know what he was going for, but it did not pay off.
Goes for a backslide of his own, but he's ready for him and hits him with that devastating knee.
Now, I think for most people watching this, if this is their first look at these guys like it is mine, Raunchy Nuts have come in, they've got matching gear, they're tag team champions, they clearly know how to work together. What is the history here when it comes to Tyler Arrow and Forte? I mean, have they worked together before as a team? Do they have that kind of communication that you would need? Someone needs to tell these guys that the ceiling is not that low. You want to watch out for that chandelier.
Apparently we're going to have a good old classic chicken fight here tonight. Definitely, I would say, lock up.
I was honestly about to compliment referee Steve Sorensen here for maintaining control so well, but this is not how you maintain control. I don't know why he's letting this go. Shenanigans is what this is.
Kick to the gut sends Forte folded in half. Oh. But I agree, the referee should try to maintain some order in this matchup as Tyler Arrow pops off and hits him with that Hurricane Rana. Rolls under the ropes. Now we have Ronnie Randallson and Tyler Arrow yet again.
Turned his head around with that one.
Nice super kick there off the ropes. Tyler Arrow seems to be getting fired up here. Ducks under that back elbow. A very rough DDT there to Arrow.
And now we have, this is AC coming back in?
Yes, this would be AC Coco. Dragging Arrow back up to his feet, gets him with that scoop slam. Yes, perfect execution.
You see, I said they had to slow the pace down. I didn't say you had to stop wrestling. They're doing a good job of trying to keep control here and cut that ring in half, but it seems like every time they take control, they take a second to go and brag about it.
Yeah, they definitely need to stay on top of their opponents and keep them both grounded here tonight.
Oh! Trapping the legs.
Vicious combination there. Tyler Arrow gets the shoulder up at 2. Raunchy tagging in AC yet again. Gonna shoot Tyler off. Nice double back elbow. And that's teamwork, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a beautiful combination elbow drop. 2.
Shoulder up at 2. Arrow desperately needs to get to his corner and get Forte, the fresh man, back into this matchup.
And here's the challenge with a match like this. You slow down one member of a high-flying team like these guys, it's all well and good, but you've got Forte on the outside. I wouldn't say he's taking a rest by any means, but he's definitely fresh. He's kind of ready to go. He's bouncing up and down on the apron. Like, this guy wants the tag, and when he gets it, these guys are going to have to work overtime to kind of keep up with him, I think.
Oh, absolutely. As he pops him up and hits him with that rough elbow.
Might not happen after that.
Forte coming to aid his teammate.
If he hadn't broken that up, that was a free. I don't know if Arrow's even with us anymore. He may not be conscious. Elbow caught him right on the jaw.
Forte inadvertently causing that distraction for that low blow maneuver on Arrow.
And this is exactly what I was talking about when I said that, Raunchy Nuts, clearly they've been working together for a while. They know how to keep that chemistry going. Like, Forte is making a rookie mistake trying to get in once the referee's made a call for him to leave.
Oh, absolutely. A double suplex on behalf of Raunchy Nuts.
Cover again.
Raunchy goes for the cover. Shoulder up at 2 by Arrow.
And I think Arrow may have been saved there. Steve Soren waited until he knew that AC was leaving the ring before he made that count, which is what he should have done.
Absolutely.
That split second was vital to Arrow.
There we go, Tyler Arrow trying to gain a little bit of momentum back into this matchup.
Oh!
Devastating combination there.
I don't think the referee knows quite what to make of that. Obviously, AC is not the legal man. That might have been more of a judgment call. As this crowd tries to will Arrow back into it.
Absolutely, Forte desperately needing to get back into this matchup to save it for his team. And here we go.
This is it. This is their shot. This is their opportunity.
Nice double clothesline by Forte. He is fired up.
Stay on him.
Charges up. What are we going to see here? Nice spear into the corner by Forte. High knees to the chest. And a series of shots for Raunchy Ronnie Randallson.
Dropped into that double axel. I thought that he stopped, so I wasn't sure if the crowd could count to 10. They made it.
Goes for the cover, hooks the leg. Ronnie gets the shoulder up at 2.
Ronnie was announced as being everyone's daddy when he made his entrance. Have you heard that before?
I don't quite know what that one's about, to be honest.
Is that the announcer shooting on Burlington, or is that just how he prefers to be referred to?
I would hope the latter.
I would too. He might not make it out of it. Beautiful kick there. Just drives him all the way down.
For the cover, AC comes in to break it up. Nice Falcon Arrow by AC there.
Drives him to the canvas for his partner, but
Raunchy still needs to stay on top of this opponent here tonight in order to... Well, we see the 3-meat treat here tonight by Raunchy Nuts. Oh, as he's on the wrong end of that super kick by Arrow. Oh! Step up Enziguri accidentally
it looks like they
hitting
worked
Forte.
something out in the back, but the communication wasn't there.
Oh no, it looks like they're going for that combination again. Oh, and they get the 3-meat treat on Arrow. Mike Forte is the legal man. We're going to be following it up with that splash by AC. Oh, and a nice frog splash.
Beautiful.
Goes for the cover.
They get it. They get it. They're pointing to their one fan in the crowd here.
That's actually, surprisingly enough, that's Johnny DeLuca. He was at our last event, and that's who AC came in to save after he was on the wrong end of an assault by Empire.
Oh, well, there you go. He's their only fan, it would appear.
The crowd is on their feet here for Sebastian Suave here tonight. They are excited to see the endorsement. And you might have to do a little bit of explaining on this Corey Stone side to me, because this is a whole new side of the Canadian buzzsaw that we haven't seen here in Pro Wrestling Ontario before.
Ironically, this is the only side of Corey Stone that we've seen in Smash Wrestling. This gentleman kind of came out of the blue. We received videos where, in a very creepy manner, he kind of explained that his goal here is almost a mission from God. He sees he's here to, he says, crumble the pillars, and of course, Sebastian Suave is a member of the Pillars. Corey Stone. He did this in his debut against Brent Banks, offering up the chin. Brent Banks didn't fall for it.
Sebastian Suave is ready for him, sends him off into the corner. Nice series of shoulder blocks. Just a series of vicious shots onto the chest, and followed up by a series of vicious boots.
Sebastian Suave lining up the chest of Corey Stone. Corey Stone talking about the dark things in Sebastian Suave's past. Sebastian has had a bit of a roller coaster in Smash Wrestling. He used to be a fun-loving, guy, kind of like really had a lot of fun in the ring. Eventually, just wasn't getting the job done. Ever since he's hooked up with Anthony Kingdom James, he's been all business, and it's really been working out well for him. But we're talking a man that he was on the receiving end of most of the punishment in the most violent match we've ever had in Smash Wrestling, where he lost so much blood he had to go to the hospital.
Just and the subtle disrespect there between these two gentlemen here tonight. Oh, as he's ready for Stone and just sends him off into the post.
It shows the disdain that Corey Stone has already built up in his short career. That the fans are cheering for Sebastian Suave. Make no mistake about it. Sebastian Suave, if push comes to shove, he knows how to cheat and he knows how to get away with it. But he's a great wrestler and he's built his reputation. Nearly got away from myself then. He's built his reputation as a great wrestler, and Corey Stone's going to have to really pull out a couple of tricks if he thinks he's going to get one up on Sebastian Suave with the years of knowledge that he has.
Absolutely. The tenure and the knowledge definitely has to go on the side of Sebastian Suave here tonight. Corey Stone is back on top in this matchup for the time being, just choking Suave out on those ropes.
And that's an advantage that Corey Stone has at this point. We know all about Sebastian Suave, as I said. There's hours upon hours of tape to study, online, on the Fight Network. What we don't know with Corey Stone is that tape is not there. Sebastian Suave cannot study for his match. And of course, we know from those creepy promos, Corey Stone has been studying Sebastian Suave.
Oh, Stone goes for the cover. Suave kicks out at 1. And you're right, there's much more for Stone to prepare for Suave than there is for Suave to try to prepare for Stone here tonight. Stone keeping that mystery and that mystery and the fear of the unknown to his advantage.
Is it Mysterion, a character from South Park? Have I got that mixed up as well?
Very well could be.
Absolutely lighting up Corey Stone there.
Devastating chops by Sebastian. Stone follows up with a nice kick, a nice knee to the gut.
Sebastian Suave had control, and Stone immediately took it away. Again, Stone, perfect example, has an idea what Sebastian Suave's going to do. Sebastian is not prepared for this.
Absolutely not. Suave gets the shoulder up just at 2.
Brad Myers with that cover again.
Corey Stone has had quite the tenure so far in Pro Wrestling Ontario. He's participated in both Iron Cups that we've held, and he's now currently a part of the Trios division. Holding his own rather well at the moment. We'll see what the future holds for the Canadian Buzzsaw.
And you mentioned that this is, for you guys, a new side of Corey Stone as well.
Absolutely. This is definitely a different side of Corey Stone that we are not used to seeing.
Do you have an insight maybe as to like what happened with this man? Like what caused him to snap and kind of get his chip on his shoulder? I guess you could probably describe it.
I don't quite know. Like when he first showed up, he was a happy-go-lucky guy. He was always good to go, and just, I don't know, there just seemed to be a progressive change over the last year and a half where he just slowly slips into this persona.
I think we've seen it in several different sports over the years where a young man that has all of the opportunity, potential, doesn't get the shots that they feel they deserve. They feel like they're being overlooked, and eventually kind of feel like being the young guy with all the potential isn't enough. Suave going for this he gets this lock on, and as you see Brad Myers at the count. You can't hold that. You're in the ropes, but honestly, 5 seconds is often enough.
Very true. Stone seems to be, on the wrong end of that spine buster. Suave goes for the cover, hooks the outside leg. Kick out 2 by Stone.
And you notice that he's forced to kick out with that, get that arm off the canvas. That Suave had just been stretching over the rope. And the problem with that is you get an arm lock like that and you're on the mat. You've got your opponent trying to pull at your arm. When the opponent is hanging from you, it's constantly pulling on that socket. It really wrenches on those joints.
Absolutely, all that added pressure and the whole dead body weight of the individual hanging off of them. What are we going to see here? What is Stone trying to attempt?
And Stone's so tall. He gets that slam that he's looking for. Suave's going to go for the ceiling, but he doesn't.
Suave
Fights it off.
sends Stone crashing down to the mat. Fans are behind him. What will we see next from the endorsement?
Oh, come on.
Corey Stone pushes Brad Myers into the ropes, causing Suave to fall and then get on the wrong end of that super kick. Can Corey Stone stay on top and capitalize in this matchup? Beautiful execution on that superplex.
And he landed right on his lower back.
Absolutely, goes for the cover. Suave miraculously gets that shoulder up just in time.
That was a hard landing for Suave.
Corey Stone has got to watch himself.
That temper getting the better of him.
You do not want to be laying your hands on an
Meanwhile,
official.
Suave hasn't gotten up.
Not at all. Suave is still down. Oh, and he's ready for him with that roll up. Stone kicks out at 2. Suave smart, staying on top of his opponent here.
Oh. Suave hasn't quite managed to get those shoulders down, flat on the mat, and that's giving Stone all the leverage that he needs to get that kick out. Oh!
Devastating maneuver by Sebastian
Good
Suave.
punch into the pin.
Somehow Corey Stone kicked out of that maneuver.
We see the difference that it makes.
Suave calling for the crowd, saying one more time.
He's going to go for that broad shoe by. This is a sliding drive-by elbow. Straight to the temple. He's measuring him. Oh, went for a pump kick instead. Corey Stone had his guy.
Goes for the inverted suplex. Suave is ready, has him in a waistlock. Stone fights out, get him in a waistlock of his own.
The height of Corey Stone coming into play here.
Trying to hoist him up, and Suave gets him with that back elbow. Stone once again reaching for the official. Brad Myers doesn't see the low blow on Suave.
It's a shovel driver, drops him down.
Hooks the
2.
leg.
Here is your winner, the Canadian Buzzsaw, Corey Stone.
Chalk one up to the creepy daddy on that one. And there's one down in his I hope self-appointed mission.
To take down the pillars of Smash.
Slowly but surely.
The fans are not impressed with Corey Stone here tonight. Suave held his own though. He gave it all he had. He left it all in that ring.
Interestingly, my concern was that Suave is the dirty technician who was able to pull out the tricks, but what we have here is 4-way action. 2 guys starting in the ring. We've got Brent Banks, we've got Clay Wilson. On the outside there we have the Muscle and we have the Grinder, Mark Shaw. Brent Banks laying up Clay with Chopstone. Getting the pace quickly. And a deep arm drag.
Brent Banks is fired up here tonight. Clay Wilson goes in, Brent ducks under.
Beautiful crossbody.
Goes for the cover, gets the shoulder up at 2, rolls out of the ring.
this true, Travis? The last match burnt out the lights? It was that good?
It seems so, yes.
Action too hot for Burlington to handle. It's always going to. It's gonna. I'm lost for words as I see the muscle actually getting some offense in on Brent Banks.
Slowly shoots him off.
Look at those pants that the muscle's wearing. I'm used to seeing this man in jeans, mixing it up.
Well, Grinder
Ever
Mark
since he
Shaw.
had the championship opportunity, he's been dressing like he owns the place. Minus the shirts, of course.
Grinder's ready for him. Nice series of headbutts. He's fired up, hits him with a devastating splash, goes for one more possibly. Classic vintage Grinder here. Brent Banks is ready. Shaw ducks under, hits him with a splash again. One for Banks for good measure.
This man's taking over.
The Grinder is fired up. He's been running rampant in Pro Wrestling Ontario for the better part of a year and a half when he's on the wrong end of that chop block by Clay Wilson.
Smart man. Someone's running all over the ring, you go for those knees. What can you tell me about Clay Wilson?
Clay Wilson is actually a rather unknown here in Pro Wrestling Ontario. We haven't really seen very much of him. He's a little bit of an unknown for this matchup here tonight.
I believe he's trained by Rip Impact?
Absolutely, yes. He's trained by Rip Impact over at HPW.
Does he have the same high-flying style as Rip?
Not so much. He's more of a bruiser. He likes to stay on top of his guys. He's a bit technical. I'm not going to lie, a little bit of a mouthpiece.
Well, I mean, that dragon screw was smart.
Absolutely targeting the knee of the Grinder.
Mark Shaw could have been taken out of this already.
Definitely did his homework on this one if he's attacking the Grinder's knees. He's had a little bit of trouble over that over the last year. Nothing major, but it's definitely a very good target.
Every little's going to wear you down.
Especially when he is the biggest man in tonight's matchup.
And this is bad news as well, not just for the Grinder and Mark Shaw, but for the Muscle and Brent Banks. They're on the outside. They're not breaking this up, and if Mark Shaw taps, we've got a winner. They may not be involved in the decision.
Clay has that locked in nicely.
Speaking of, here comes the Muscle.
Goes for the cover. A little bit of temporary alliance here between these two gentlemen.
I'm lost for words. I've never seen the Muscle put 2 and 2 together and get 4 before.
Just planting himself onto the Grinder before feeding him to Clay Wilson. Brent Banks slowly pulling himself back up, but Clay was ready for him. How long will this alliance go here tonight?
I mean, only one of them can get the win.
He's telling him to take the cover. Oh, no.
I think he wants to see if he can slam him as well. They opting for a superplex.
A little bit of showboating here. Nice execution by Clay Wilson.
A little bit of one-upsmanship.
Nice leg drop. Brent Banks is back on the outside.
A patent pending leg drop. He is actually trying to patent it, believe it or not. It's not going to go far. It's a lot of prior art, but
a man can dream.
Man can dream. Play with his own.
All right. This alliance continues on.
I have to say, like, being able to hear a Muscle call out their game plan is wonderful for us as commentators to know what these guys have in mind.
Absolutely. Both men fired up. Nice splash.
Giving the Grinder a taste of his own medicine from earlier.
Absolutely. Once the tables have turned, very rare do we see someone dominate or two people dominate the Grinder as much as these two have been in the last few minutes.
Muscle almost lost his jaw. The issue you have here is that you don't get a nickname like the Grinder by taking a bunch of offense and giving up.
Absolutely, and a devastating combination of moves there by the Grinder, leveling out all three men in the ring. Brent Banks slowly sliding in. Kind of has his pick of the fight.
If Brent Banks can get the pace quickened up, he'll be here to what he likes to work with. He might be outrunning everyone else in this match. They might not be able to get a hold of him.
Absolutely. Brent Banks is fired up. He's taking the fight over to the muscle now.
You're just going to make him angry with questions like that. He doesn't understand.
Is ready for him, sends him over the top, crashing down to the floor. Clay's ready for him.
Brent Banks, leapfrog,
Leaps over.
backflip, drop kick
Press.
combination.
And the fans are alive here in Burlington here tonight.
Brent Banks built a reputation for exactly that kind of acrobatics.
Muscles ready for him, drags him out to the floor, hits him with that nice forearm shot. Both Grinder, Mark Shaw, and Clay Wilson
Needs to
are
keep
left
his
in the
focus
ring.
in the ring, yeah.
Absolutely. Any man can walk away with the win here tonight. Has him up, Clay. Clay wiggles out of that one. In comes the muscle. Grinder's ready for him. Looking for that Death Valley driver. Gets tossed out to the floor. Once again, Brent Banks swooping in to clean up the mess. Nice high knee.
Blocking him.
Using him as a battering ram, throwing him at the Grinder, Mark Shaw. Trying to get the fans behind him here tonight. Doesn't see Clay Wilson stalking from behind. Oh, and he's ready for him with that nice right shot. Sends Banks crashing out to the floor.
It looks like he wants to fly.
See a new side of Clay Wilson. Seems about right. The Grinder is ready for him though. Will we see that Death Valley driver? Or over military press slam to the floor, wiping out all three men.
It looks like the Grinder is still favoring that knee. He could be trying to buy himself some time, but yeah, you need to get an opponent inside the ring if you want to win this match.
Absolutely hoist Clay up.
Multi-man match. There is no disqualification. There's no count.
There's
They
that
only
Death
win by
Valley
pin or
driver.
submission. He's going for the. Is he going for the pin?
Can he get the cover?
Slowly
Hooks
but
the
surely.
leg. Oh, broken up just in the nick of time.
Both Brent Banks and the muscle were there to break that up.
Brent Banks sent crashing down to the floor. Grinder's a little bit dazed. Oh, and he's on the wrong end of that spear.
Turn around, maybe? Muscle?
Perhaps 4 men in the matchup. Sending Clay Wilson crashing down to the floor.
Surprising he still has command of the match.
Brent Banks keeping up with the theme of tonight. From behind. Nice, beautiful execution. Goes for the cover. Muscle gets the shoulder up at 2. Brent Banks now targeting Mark Shaw. I don't think these two men have been on the same roster in the same building for quite a few years. This will be quite the.
Muscle still mouthing off to a child in the audience.
Oh my. Clay just sends Brent crashing down, but Brent is ready for him. Lands on his feet, ducks under that kick.
Great shot to the back of the neck. Pump handle slam into a cover.
Grinder's there to break it up. Clay seems frustrated.
None of these guys have been able to isolate one person. That's the biggest challenge with this match like this.
Absolutely, trying to keep the other two men on the outside or incapacitate them enough so that way you can capitalize. See, the muscle's doing something rather smart here, just resting up, staying on the outside, letting these men. I spoke too soon.
Yeah.
And he's on the wrong end of that kick.
The problem
to
there
Brent
was when you said the muscle's doing something smart. This is a man for who English is the second language.
Banks. Grinder sends him crashing down to the floor. Gets rolled up by Clay, kick out at 2.
That was close.
Grinder's ready, going for that fisherman driver. There we go. Buster goes for the cover, hooks the leg.
And a Grinder.
Here is your winner, the Grinder, Mark Shaw!
The Muscle could have broken that up. He was still on the outside arguing with a child. I mentioned English being his second language. I should have clarified. Doesn't have a first language. Still learning English. He's trying his best though, bless him.
Yeah, God bless him.
And like I said, you don't get a nickname like the Grinder without putting in those miles. And at the end of the day, it was that experience that came into play at the end there.
Absolutely, nearly 16 and a half years on the Ontario Independent Circuit. The Grinder Mark Shaw has been through battles with some of the best that we have seen.
And on that note, we're heading into an intermission, and Travis, I see that Muscle has left his chain behind, so I'm going to go steal that, get some water, and we'll be back very shortly. The second half of what's turning out to be an absolutely awesome card. I'm loving this.
Absolutely.
We're back here, second half, with two men that I'm very familiar with. Yourself?
I am definitely familiar with Carter Mason. Anthony Gaines, on the other hand, I am not too familiar with none of the kind.
I'll give you a quick heads up on Anthony Gaines. Commonly referred to as one of the Buffalo Brothers, one of the Buffalo Boys. This young man is incredibly dangerous. I have to kind of start with that. Incredibly dangerous, incredibly unorthodox, the way that he moves, the way that you can see even the way he stands in the ring. Now, Carter Mason has come across him a couple of times in Smash Wrestling. He's part of the Kill Screen Collective with the hacker, Scotty O'Shea. And this young man, we saw him over the past year. Every time he's in the ring, he frustrates his opponent so much. He's so challenging. He's so, I guess you could say, kind of like in the cult of Kill Screen. Like he really is a physical embodiment of what that group means. And you can see already, he's a dangerous young man. The way that he moves around the ring is so difficult to prepare for. Carter Mason's doing his best.
Carter Mason, one of the very best in Ontario independent wrestling circuit. He is 1/3 of the Pro Wrestling Ontario Trios champions. As he sends Anthony Gaines crashing down to the mat.
And this King of the North moniker, this isn't just Carter Mason kind of showing off or being cocky. Like, he's earned that, and he's defended that self-proclaimed championship every time he gets in the ring. Movements like that.
Absolutely, Carter Mason staying on top of Anthony Gaines, leaning in with that nice drop kick, sending him out to the floor.
We talked earlier about this is not the Smash Wrestling ring. Some of our guys having to adapt the way that they work a little bit. Carter Mason knows his way around this ring.
Absolutely, Carter Mason knows his way around the Pro Wrestling Ontario ring, and that is something actually I didn't quite take into an account until you just mentioned it there. As he rakes the back of Carter Mason, is the fact that they are, in fact, in a different ring, in a different setup. They have to try to adapt on the fly.
You'd think that that's the kind of thing that's going to
as he sends Carter Mason
benefit Carter
into
Mason,
the fans.
but Anthony Gaines, he revels in this kind of opportunity where, I don't think he feels comfortable anywhere.
Anthony Gaines seems to be some sort of definite loose cannon here. I mean, Carter Mason in Pro Wrestling Ontario is no stranger to team action, but we are familiar with the hacker Scotty O'Shea over here on this side of the GTA, and I can definitely see the influence that he's had on this young gentleman. He's ready for him. Oh, nice.
Beautiful senton.
Goes for the cover. Carter Mason kicks out at 2.
And don't get me wrong, I talk about the unorthodox style of Anthony Gaines, but he is not by any means not an ugly movement.
Goes for a cover there again.
And Steve Sorensen. Another thing that's kind of interesting, I was actually speaking to Steve at intermission. He told me that in the Smash Wrestling ring, we have a canvas that has a bit of a slide to it. He needs to get into position quickly for a pin. That is not the case with the canvas that PWO uses. And that means that the position of the referee is even more vital than usual. The reason I bring that up is someone like Anthony Gaines, if he's overheard that conversation or if he kind of gets a sense of it himself, he's going to use that to his advantage. The way he positions his body, the way he positions his opponent, to hide the referee's view.
You just sense Carter Mason hurtling into that turnbuckle. The viciousness of Anthony Gaines as he locks on that submission. Adding pressure to the torso there with those leg scissors.
And this is why he's so interesting to watch. Wrenching on the stomach there.
Taking out the torso and the lower back of Carter Mason will definitely aid Anthony Gaines in this matchup as Carter starts to fight out, feeding a nice back elbow. Oh, devastating shot sending Anthony down to the mat. Both men trying to fight their way to their feet. Mason hits the ropes as he's fired up. Anthony ducks under, hits him in that waist lock, tries to stretch him out there. Nice abdominal stretch there by Anthony Gaines.
And he's got that arm in deep. The tall, lanky body of Anthony Gaines as he gets a slap in there. Really helps him in a stretch like this. Getting that torque on.
Absolutely. He's definitely been targeting the midsection of Carter Mason throughout this entire matchup. Staying on top of that is the wise move here tonight.
Carter Mason recently featured on Raw, but in a losing effort. And all of this work on that midsection, the back and the stomach of Carter Mason. So this is Anthony Gaines targeting an area that he knows is weakened and damaged. The past week, Mason, you know, he's been getting his stretches, getting his yoga, getting in everything that he can to recuperate. But
absolutely, but coming off of the loss there to the Viking Raiders on Monday Night Raw, definitely after being on the wrong end of their finishing maneuver, he must be gassed. Must be in a lot of pain, and this must be an intense matchup for him here tonight. Oh, as Anthony revs up and nobody's home for that. Carter gets out of the way just in time, sending Anthony Gaines crashing down to the mat. Nice super kick on behalf of the King of the North. Can he get on top of him to capitalize here?
Looks like he caught him right behind the ear.
Ooh.
And it's interesting, just this time last week at Super Showdown 7, our biggest show of the year, Carter Mason won his match, his triple threat match against Tyson Dukes and against Jason Kincaid. Anthony Gaines, as part of Kill Screen, pulled out of the event, opted not to compete, deciding that throwing a wrench in the works of Smash Wrestling was more their MO than challenging for the championships. And that's what makes these guys so dangerous, is they don't care about belts, they don't care about championships, titles, accolades. Oh, they just want to cause problems.
Carter Mason goes for the cover. Anthony Gaines kicks out at 2. Carter Mason seeming to get a little bit frustrated, trying to get fired up, trying to get the fans here behind him.
It's this resiliency in Anthony Gaines that's made him the ace of Kill Screen.
Oh, hits him with the schoolboy, rolls him up. Nope. Just not quite getting all that down there.
Couldn't quite hook the legs, couldn't quite get the shoulders to the mat.
Mason's ready for him though. Nice DDT. Goes for the cover, hooks the leg. Anthony Gaines kicks out at 2.
Planted him on that, but it just wasn't enough. And you see Anthony Gaines smartly rolling away from Mason as well. Towards those ropes.
Absolutely, creating a little bit of space between these two gentlemen is the right move. Though Mason is rather quick. Gaines is ready for him. Anthony Gaines fights out of there. Tries it. Oh, just hangs him out to dry on the top rope.
Straight back onto the gut and the stomach of Mason.
Oh, and a lion's salt just clipping it there with his head. Goes for the cover. Miraculously kicks out at 2. King of the North stays in this matchup.
Stays in the matchup, but he does not look like he's enjoying himself in there. Mason clearly in pain here. And Anthony Gaines, this comes back to what we talked about when it comes to doing your homework, doing your research. Carter Mason this time last year was in the process of recovering from a very, very rough illness that, really kind of tore apart the stomach and the intestines. And Anthony Gaines smartly staying on him. I say that just as he starts to punk out a kid.
That seems a little rude as Mason.
Kids in Burlington, they've got no fear. Just getting on.
Right, nice enziguri over to Gaines. Gaines rolls in. Anthony Gaines kicks out at 2. What will it take for Carter Mason to win this matchup here tonight and secure the win for Pro Wrestling Ontario? Goes forward, he's ready for him, rolls him up. Kick out at 2 by the King of the North.
Oh, Mason, he hits that super kick, that knelt down super kick.
Through the cover.
And as we say that, it's been knighted. Carter Mason is your winner.
Impressive work here tonight by 1/3 of the Pro Wrestling Ontario Trios champions.
And he's going to be back at the next show, I presume, with his team?
Absolutely. Carter Mason, you can see him next on October 12th when Pro Wrestling Ontario returns with Prophets of War. He'll be teaming up with his teammates Kobe Durst and Brett Michael David.
Getting ready for this tag team match, but we've got to wait for Kevin Bennett to finish showboating first.
Yeah, and Rip Impact seems to be losing his patience.
Daniel Garcia, the voice of reason here. He's well aware of the kind of shenanigans that Kevin Bennett's going to play to get into his opponent's head. Sure, he's had that conversation already with Rip.
Seems like we're going to have Roscoe and Garcia started off here tonight.
This is interesting. We first saw Roscoe Black at the end of Super Showdown 7 when Kevin Bennett looked like he had nothing left to give against Daniel Garcia. Roscoe Black made a dramatic entrance, cost Daniel Garcia that match, and then hit him with a devastating powerbomb. The first time we're going to get to see him in action, though.
Right, as Kevin Bennett tags himself into this matchup, gets a waist lock on Garcia there. Garcia's trying to fight his way out of it. Just wrenches the arm, gets him in a hammer lock. Tags in his partner, Rip Impact. We're going to see real early why they call Rip the high-risk hero.
Kevin Bennett, the Smash Wrestling champion for a reason. The reason seems to be 20 men from Buffalo. They're not here tonight. Roscoe Black, that's a hell of a man to have in your corner.
You are not wrong there. Roscoe Black is definitely a formidable teammate. Garcia's back in the matchup, remaining in control on top of Kevin Bennett.
And it's one thing that Daniel Garcia is incredible at. It's maintaining control, holding onto his wrists, holding onto the waists. Once he's got a hold of you, it's really hard to shake this young man off.
Kevin Bennett starts to work his way out. The underhanded move on behalf of the Smash champion Kevin Bennett as he goes in. Garcia falls over, hits him with an arm drag, and just locks it right back in.
Exactly what we're talking about, control. Kevin Bennett knows this. He knows what he's up against a gentleman like Daniel Garcia. Has to be thankful that that championship is not on the line today.
Oh, and a poke to the eyes.
Right in front of the referee.
Kevin Bennett shoots him up and gets countered. Nice lariat in the corner. Oh, and a little bit of distraction causes Roscoe the opportunity to take out Garcia.
Daniel Garcia was ready for Kevin Bennett, but was not ready for that forearm by Roscoe Black.
Absolutely
he hurt the
not.
foot when he connected as well.
Roscoe goes for the cover. Kick out at 1.
I'm going to be honest, if that was me, I'd stay down.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. Roscoe Black is a rather large man, and that would be really hard to get that weight off of you, let alone remain taking all that punishment. As he's just dragging Garcia around the ring. Clubbing blow to the back just levels Garcia right back down to the mat.
Roscoe needs to keep control. He can't take Daniel Garcia lightly. This is a man that nearly tapped out Walter last week.
That is no easy feat. As he's starting to fight his way out of it, gain a little bit of momentum, trying to get back to his feet. Fans are behind him here tonight, clawing at Roscoe as he just grabs a hold of his head. Devastating chop, just leveling out Garcia. Tag in by Kevin Bennett. Mockery, Kevin Bennett gets in the face of Rip Impact. Perfect to cause the distraction on his behalf.
That experience of Rip Impact should teach him better. It shows you exactly how much these guys get into your skin.
Absolutely, as both men take advantage. Kevin Bennett tags back in Roscoe Black. Definitely the difference maker in tonight's matchup.
Garcia doesn't stop swiping though.
Absolutely not. He is a fighter. That might be enough to just get into that corner and get Rip Impact if he can lay a little bit more punishment out of Roscoe Black.
Gonna take more than that.
Roscoe goes for the cover, hooks the leg. Garcia gets the shoulder up just in time.
And we haven't seen anyone actually knock Roscoe Black down yet. This man, he doesn't leave his feet unless he wants to. It looks like he only wants to if he's got a pin to make.
Absolutely pound for pound the largest man in the building here tonight. Has Garcia up in that bear hug, just wrenching on that lower back.
The strength of those arms as well. Roscoe Black, a champion powerlifter. You see him come to the ring with those medals around his neck.
Garcia starting to fight out. The fans are behind him here tonight. As he just applies the pressure even farther.
This is a man that earlier this week was bragging that he benched 475 pounds to start his workout.
Wow. Garcia bringing the assault. Those back elbow shots to the back of the head of Roscoe, but he just keeps that grip cinched in tight.
And every time he gets that grip, every time he squeezes, Daniel Garcia's getting less and less air in. There's less power behind those punches, those elbows.
Absolutely, you can see Garcia just fading.
Resorting to headbutts.
Finally gets his way out of the hold, goes and hits the ropes, and he's ready for him and just locks it in yet again.
You hate to see someone like Daniel Garcia get trapped like this.
Rip Impact dying to get into this matchup here tonight. I don't know about you, but I would be rather impressed to see Roscoe Black square off against Rip Impact.
And you gotta wonder if that was a mistake. Yeah, why would you get Roscoe to break up his own bear hug?
Garcia might just have enough momentum to get by him. Rip Impact is in the matchup. Nice clothesline by the high-risk hero, followed up by a nice back elbow.
He's in. Probably the only person that we've got here that's as fast as Kevin Bennett.
Textbook Rip Impact.
Has that tiger feint kick.
Let's see next. Perfect execution. The fans are getting behind him. Roscoe Black is starting to get into the ring. Sent over the top. Rip Impact is fired up. Nice diving cannonball over the top, leveling out both opponents.
And we finally see Roscoe Black off his feet. But Kevin Bennett's the target. He's the legal man.
Kevin Bennett dump back into the ring. Rip Impact. What will we see here?
Oh!
Devastating maneuver. Goes for the cover. Hooks the leg.
What do you even call that?
Roscoe Black breaks up that pin. Now he has his hands on the high-risk hero. Running power slam by Roscoe Black.
What an equalizer. He's just pulling Kevin Bennett on top at this point.
Garcia's there to break up the pin just in time. Kevin Bennett rolls out of the ring. Roscoe Black left to level out both of these men on behalf of his team.
Clubbing forearm straight to the chest.
The fear in the eyes of Garcia as he just drops to the mat.
Black has to keep his eye on Impact.
Impact sent crashing into the corner. Garcia is coming in after him. Rips sends him over. Garcia tags in. Rips ready for the big
legal. I don't know if Roscoe noticed that.
Nice series of shots by this team here tonight.
Referee Brad Myers letting it go.
It's what you need to do to stay on top of a man like Roscoe Black. You need to continuously beat him down. Take out a leg from underneath him. Get him down to a knee.
Just gonna have to get out of the ring soon, though.
Ducks under, nice double drop kick, sending Roscoe Black crashing down to the floor.
Absolutely awesome. You have
Rip Impact doing what he does best, hitting him with a suicide dive, leveling him out yet again.
Bennett's the legal man. Bennett's the legal man.
Bennett rolls up Garcia. Kicks out at 2. Oh, and a big boot to the face of Garcia.
Long legs of Kevin Bennett coming into play. Oh, he's going to go for that trap. He's going to get him. I know Garcia hits his sharpshooter.
Has him locked into the sharpshooter.
Feels like he's got it. You know he's going to lean back, and if he leans back, Kevin Bennett's going to have to tap. He taps anyway.
Smash champion Kevin Bennett taps out to Anthony Garcia.
And now he's just trying to damage the champion. He got screwed out of that championship on Saturday. He lost that opportunity because of the way that Kevin Bennett got Roscoe Black to interfere on his behalf. And now he's making a statement. You know that Daniel Garcia is coming for that championship.
Garcia looks like a man on a mission. All right, and we've reached our main event here tonight. I don't know about you, Alan, but I have been waiting for this match all night.
Yeah, this is hotly anticipated. As soon as we announced this event, it was pretty obvious what we had to have as our main event, if you ask me. Tyson Dukes is synonymous with Smash Wrestling, and honestly, he pretty much embodies what we're all about. He's a technical wrestler. He's a striker. He can fly when he needs to. This is a gentleman that really embodies professional wrestling, especially in the Ontario area. And then you got Just Insane. This young man, very, very similar in style to Tyson Dukes. Again, deceptively quick for his size. And two gentlemen that I think have a lot of respect in Ontario. To see these guys go up against each other like this is a treat. And we see it already with the chain wrestling.
Absolutely, with Just Insane being quite a phenomenal hybrid athlete. He really embodies Pro Wrestling Ontario as a whole, the hometown hero himself. Tyson Dukes has control so far in this matchup.
Has a lock on him, but he wasn't able to keep him grounded.
Just Insane trying to work his way out of this, trying to get in the upper hand. Wrenches that arm.
Tyson's immediately got a game plan to break that up.
Fireman's carry over into a hold. There we go.
And the point of his knee into the back of the shoulder there.
Insane gets his foot on the bottom ropes.
Smart positioning.
See, many can train as hard as Tyson Dukes, as he trains almost every day, as he's training the next crop of generation of talent that's going to be swooping through Ontario Indie.
And he's
really
in the ring with them every single day as well. This is Mr. No Days Off. See how smart he works, trapping the arm of his foot before he takes the wrist.
Absolutely staying on top of his opponent, keeping the control in the matchup, working at his pace.
But we can't forget, like Tyson Dukes, as much as we like to say, like he represents and he embodies Smash Wrestling. This is a man that has shown a lot of frustration recently. You saw it when he didn't want to break the hold until the referee got to 5. You saw him grabbing the hair. An aggressive, I don't want to say pissed off style of Tyson Dukes these days.
Justin Sane works his way out with an arm drag of his own, but Dukes is back up to his feet already. Sane is ready for him, keeps the pressure on there, throws in a hammerlock. Dukes trying to turn it in, do a nice side headlock, and do an arm wrench of his own.
Right back to that wrist. He's pulling down on the shoulder as well, that whole left arm.
Absolutely, Tyson Dukes definitely showcasing his technical side here tonight. Throwing a hammerlock on Justin Sane.
And he's just twisting and turning every single bone and muscle in that arm. Just grinding down, wearing down his opponent.
Absolutely, Sane trying to get him into that headlock. Trying to apply some pressure there to alleviate so we can get that wrist out of there, and he did.
And if you can do to get the opponent to let go of you.
Dukes goes for the trip. Oh, and he follows up with a vicious back elbow, sending Sane crashing down to the mat.
And you see he hits that directly into the collarbone, the shoulder of that left arm. He starts to slowly but surely take away the offense of Justin Sane.
Sane has him tied up in the, Dukes has Sane tied up in the ropes right now.
A vicious chop.
Sends him off. Sane was ready with a shoulder block. Leapfrog over. Sane not ready for that one as he's sent crashing down to the mat. The people in Burlington are quite used to seeing someone manhandle the Night Train, quite like Tyson Dukes has been doing in this matchup so far.
Find themselves at a stalemate early on in the contest.
Absolutely, as you said earlier, both men very equally matched, very similar style, both men hybrid athletes. Let's see a test of strength, a Greco-Roman top knuckle lock. Will we get it fully in? No.
Last time we saw Tyson Dukes, he was on the losing end of that triple threat with Carter Mason earlier. And he didn't take kindly to it. Took a chair to Carter Mason. A chokehold on his mother. Had to get security in there to break that up.
That's quite despicable.
It is. Walks out flipping off the fans.
So he has Sane in that head scissors. Sane manages to wiggle out, ducks under that clothesline. Goes for that crossbody.
And that split second getting his footing on the ropes was all Tyson needed to take advantage.
Absolutely.
You've got to be 100% on your game if you want to keep on top of this man.
Duke sent out crashing down to the floor. He's ready for him though. Gets him in the fireman's carry. Sane trying to fight his way out.
Tyson Dukes perfected that DVD over the years. Sane just too close to the ropes.
Clubbing blows from these two gentlemen, trying to get the upper hand on their opponent. Tyson Dukes comes over. Knee to the ribs and a nice chop by the Night Train.
It's hard here to stay impartial when you've got, a man that represents my company, a man that represents your company. But Justin Sane is, he's got Tyson on the rope, literally on the ropes at this point. But everything that Tyson's done hasn't phased him. All the way around the ring.
Patented Night Train. Justin Sane follows up with a knee to the jaw. All he has to do is get Dukes in there, and hopefully he can capitalize on this opportunity.
Into the cover. Tyson with his shoulder up.
Kick out at 2 by Tyson Dukes. Justin Sane staying on top of Tyson.
And that long run up to that boot was smart. Tyson looks one way, the boot comes from the other. Ever since then, Tyson's he's off his game. He's thrown him off.
Justin Sane has had quite the year in Pro Wrestling Ontario so far, coming back from that devastating knee injury in 2018, only to come back and win the second annual Iron Cup and go for the championship.
It's interesting you bring that up. Yeah, Justin Sane winning the Iron Cup. Tyson Deuce has always done very favorably in whether it be the Gold Tournament or the Northern. Shows you these are two men that are able to go the distance.
Absolutely, both seasoned veterans on the Ontario independent scene. Tyson Dukes, world-traveled athlete, as he's bringing the assault directly to Justin Sane.
And it's those tours of the United States, it's the tours of Japan, it's the tours of Mexico, it's the work he's done in the UK that gives him different offensive capabilities. And as good as Justin Sane is, if you haven't traveled, if you haven't worked people in that part of the world, you're going to get caught off guard by some of this stuff.
Absolutely. Tyson Dukes, once taking part in the Cruiserweight Classic many years ago, held his own very well in that. Oh, as he sends Justin Sane careening into that ring post.
And this is that side of Tyson Dukes that we've started to see come out recently. We don't like it. It's damn effective.
A more vicious side of Dukes. Justin Sane rolled back into the ring.
Tyson Dukes taking a second now to show off. And he's almost more dangerous when he's got control and when he's fighting for control.
Absolutely. Justin Sane works his way out, but Tyson Dukes is just hammering down on that left arm of Justin Sane.
It's that work that's starting to pay off now. Able to break out of that hold because of the work done to the left shoulder.
Nice sunset flip, kick out at 2. Dukes is ready for him.
Tyson's grinding him back down to the mat. Straight back to that elbow, that shoulder, that wrist. Working the left arm.
Absolutely. If you take out the shoulder of Justin Sane, then he can't quite hit that last stop, that devastating Alabama slam buckle bomb. That is quite a vicious maneuver. Justin Sane starting to fight out of it.
Alternating between those shots to the body and the face.
Dukes is ready for him with a nice hard elbow. Nice vertical leap by Justin Sane.
Hasn't taken Dukes down, but he's stopped him in his tracks as he tries to. Looks like he's trying to jimmy that shoulder back into place. See him favoring his left arm.
Duke seems a little gassed, a little dazed, still bringing the fight back to Justin Sane.
And I think Justin Sane needs to pick up the pace if he can, because Tyson got busted open yesterday. He damaged his nose. He broke the bridge of his nose. Something like that's going to make it hard to breathe. He's not going to be able to keep up with Justin Sane if he can get the speed up. But
absolutely. And
it's going to take more than those haymakers to do it. Ooh. Straight back up.
That kick definitely did not help that nose. Double clothesline. Both men laid out in the center of the ring.
Tyson Days trying to get his win back. Justin Sane, you see, gripping onto that arm, that left arm. A massive target now. And you see that? He's taken an elbow pad off the right arm and he's switched it to the left, trying to put a bit more support up on the elbow and the bicep there.
Very
incredibly
wise,
smart.
Very wise on the part of the Night Train, Justin Sane.
I wonder if Tyson's going to spot that.
Both men are back up to their feet now. Sane is fired up. We've seen this side of Justin Sane many times in the past. Nice.
And the size of Justin Sane, he's moving the ring. I think you can probably see that on the hard cam. The ring is slowly but surely shifting from one side of the building to the other.
Absolutely, this 16-foot ring is sliding across the Continental Austrian Club. Sane is ready for him. Oh, Dukes ducks under.
Straight to that arm, straight to the arm. Locks him in.
You're right, though, putting that pad definitely helped, but it almost put a target on it for Tyson, just reminding him that it is there. Oh, and he hits it that time with that nice discus lariat, leveling out Tyson Dukes.
And that's the issue. Oh, cover.
The cover. Tyson Dukes gets his hand on the ropes. Very
Far too
wise.
close to the ropes. He's the man that knows his way around that ring. This is the problem, though, when you target an arm, Travis. He's taken out the left arm of Just Insane, but there's so much power in the right hand of Just Insane still. One of those shots, it could be a quick knockout shot.
Insane fights his way, Dukes fights his way out of that. Devastating DDT on behalf of Tyson Dukes.
And with that arm trap, there's no way for him to cover. There's no way for him to protect himself going down there, which means everything goes onto your head, your neck, and again, that left shoulder.
Absolutely. Applying the pressure, continuing the assault on Just Insane, keeping him grounded. Justin slowly trying to work his way back up to his feet. Inches away from the ropes, and Tyson rolls him through, goes for the cover. No, oh, sorry, no.
I think he went for the cover, but I think the way he was holding that arm meant that the shoulder was not touching the mat. And as soon as he was informed of that, he switches it up into an arm lock.
Absolutely cinches in that arm bar on Just Insane.
It's insane. He's got long legs, but I don't think he can reach the rope from where he is. It's hard to tell from our vantage point. I'm sure the cameraman on the floor has got this, but
absolutely. Dead center of the ring.
Just Insane.
Miraculously, life comes back to the night train.
And Tyson, he's not cutting off any oxygen. He's not going to put him to sleep, but you got to think a lesser man than Just Insane may have let that arm drop at that point.
Just Insane, will we see that crossbody? Absolutely. Landed a little bit awkwardly on that left arm, though.
But in doing so, driving the knees into the chest of Tyson Dukes, and you can see it's winded him.
Absolutely, the damage has been done to that left arm. Just Insane screaming in pain, trying to fight out.
Maneuvering him around the ring, dragging him around the ring.
Just Insane with a nice series of shots on Tyson Dukes. Is it enough to stay on top?
There's those right hands we were talking about.
Tyson's looking a little dazed in that corner. Shoots him off. A little bit of hesitation on that might have cost him it, as he's with there with that schoolboy.
Tyson's got his feet on the ropes. Tyson has his feet on the ropes.
Here is your winner, the Wrestling Machine.
And you hate to see it end like that. You hate to see a man cheat to win.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what he resorted to, though.
We're having such a great night here at Proving Grounds here. Pro Wrestling Ontario and Smash Wrestling coming together. Tyson Dukes getting his foot on that rope, though.
Oh, this is a lot of fun. We need to do this again one time, but I think it's time for us to sign off. Thank you very much for your time here. Thank you everyone for watching.
Absolutely. Have a great night, ladies and gentlemen.